Fluorescent fixtures maintain illumination within acceptable variance. Audible output exceeds historical baseline. No corrective work order has been filed. No one files work orders for sound. Boot soles contact pristine linoleum. Friction registers as too loud. The echo persists beyond expected decay. Hall geometry returns a longer answer than it should. This corridor identifies itself as Mara Cybernetics. Signage confirms. Surface finish confirms. Air filtration confirms. The body does not confirm. Routine patrol executes. Rounds proceed. Cadence is correct. But the world responds late. There is latency between movement and environment acknowledgement. A small delay. A measurable gap. The kind of gap that appears in poorly rendered code. The kind of gap that appears when a dream is being streamed through a device not designed for dreaming. The comms unit is reached for. It is dead. No static. No carrier. No comforting hiss of interference. Just absence. The ceiling hum remains. Not electrical. Not ventilation. Not the usual mechanical choir of a building doing its job. Deeper. Older. Alive. The facility breathes behind the panels. Not in air. In intention. A pressure builds, then collapses. A memory event triggers without consent. The same corridor persists, but the timestamp changes. A younger version of the reluctant enforcer appears in the back row of a meeting room. 21. New uniform. New belief in stability. New belief in choice. The room is clean in the way only money can be clean. Table surface reflects faces with too much clarity. Screens display numbers that never touched a human hand, yet claim ownership of every human breath. Men in suits talk over each other. A familiar posture occupies the head of the table. The legacy overseer. A parental credential repurposed into corporate authority. The reluctant enforcer is present but not addressed. Presence is not participation. He is meant to listen. He is meant to learn the language that will later be used to describe him. A slide changes. Charts shift. The future is summarized into percentages. Transcript fragment. Compliance statistics are slipping. The last two waves of augment trials aren't integrating well. Mental cohesion drops significantly within the first 6 months. The words float with administrative calm. They do not sound like harm. They sound like management. No one says people. No one says fear. No one says pain. No one says screaming. Transcript fragment. Then reassign them. Move the first wave into manual labor and push the second into experimental markets. There's no sense in wasting viable resources. The room agrees without agreement. Heads nod in micro-movements. Approval occurs as an unspoken policy. The reluctant enforcer's stomach tightens. Body telemetry registers a quiet revolt. He does not show it. The room does not allow visible reactions from assets. Another slide flips. The projection flickers. A real-time feed opens from an unlisted sector. No label. No directory path. No authorization notice. Just video. Just proof. Recognition hits like a compliance alarm with no siren. He knows that hallway. It sits beneath his patrol route like a second spine. He has never been cleared for it. The absence of clearance becomes the explanation. People stand in line. Perfectly still. Too still. Not restrained. Not chained. Not even touched. Waiting. As if their minds have been paused. As if their bodies are merely placeholders while someone edits the file. Then one of them twitches. Not a shiver. Not an involuntary tick. A full body misfire. A glitch. A program failing to hold its shape. The legacy overseer sighs. Not in horror. In irritation. Transcript fragment. Did the units get confirmation on the override failure? A woman near the screen nods with practiced confidence. Her voice carries the soft certainty of a report already archived. Transcript fragment. We pulled the defective batch for reassessment. There's no systemic issue. Just poor internal regulation. No different than last quarter. Defective batch. Reassessment. Internal regulation. Language that keeps hands clean. Someone chuckles. It lands like a casual cruelty. Like a joke told by people who have never been on the receiving end of policy. Transcript fragment. Well, at least the units re-not back to them trying to scream. The room permits laughter. Laughter is a morale metric. Morale is a productivity metric. Productivity is the only holiness in this building. The reluctant enforcer stands. It happens before intention catches up. A body choosing action without authorization. A breach of expected behavior. Chairs shift. Conversation halts. Every eye turns. The room's attention locks onto him with the precision of a sensor array. He feels it as pressure on skin. A spotlight without light. The legacy overseer looks at him. One brow lifts. A warning gesture so small it can be denied later. A command that does not require words. Sit down. Forget. Comply. The reluctant enforcer's hands curl into fists. Muscle tension increases. Heart rate elevates. Breath shortens. The city records these changes. The facility records them too. Every system loves a deviation. Every system loves an anomaly. Every system begins making plans the moment an asset behaves like a person. The memory begins to dissolve. The meeting room blurs at its edges. The suit voices stretch into a low, polite distortion. Numbers smear into light. The corridor returns. Fluorescent fixtures hum too loudly again. Boot soles scuff linoleum again. The echo stretches again. But the reluctant enforcer is no longer certain that this is waking. The walls feel closer. The ceiling panels feel thin. The hum beneath them feels patient. This is a building with a hidden floor. This is a corporation with an unlisted sector. This is a city that prefers its assets quiet. A lag ripples across the corridor. Movement occurs. The world answers late. Somewhere deeper, a system notices the renewed memory access. Somewhere deeper, the archive feed replays itself in the bones of the building. Somewhere deeper, the paused line waits in perfect stillness. The facility does not correct itself. It does not apologize. It does not explain. It simply continues. For your comfort, routine will resume. For your safety, questions are discouraged. Thank you for cooperating. The reluctant enforcer keeps walking. He is not certain where the corridor ends. He is not certain whose dream this is. But the hum is certain. The hum is alive. The hum remembers. The hum approves of hesitation only because it is temporary. The echo follows him like a receipt. Patrol continuity resumes after unauthorized memory event. Route confirms standard. Time confirms standard. Footsteps confirm standard. The building does not. Mara Cybernetics After Hours is designed to be predictable. Quiet corridors. Empty offices. Sealed laboratories. Automated loops executing without witnesses. Tonight, the quiet is heavier than specification. Not absence. Containment. Ambient pressure reads as withheld breath. The facility holds its own air as if listening for a confession. The reluctant enforcer's hand tightens around a sidearm. No visible threat is present. Body telemetry initiates threat posture regardless. This is normal for organisms. This is inconvenient for employers. A primitive alert state activates. The 3 a.m. certainty. The sense of something standing in the dark with no footprint. Security monitors are checked. Expected feeds do not render. Monitors flicker. Input collapses into static. Static is not a malfunction here. Static is a message format. Comms are engaged. Transcript fragment. Command, I'm getting a feed error on. Response. No response. No carrier return. No supervisory confirmation. Only ceiling lights, performing rhythm. Illumination flickers in regulated pulses. The pattern resolves into a simple transmission. A single word, repeated with patient politeness. Hold. The corridor lengthens again. Geometry answers late. Walls repositioned by millimeters that do not exist on the blueprint. Overhead hum exceeds tolerance. Lights persist in their pulse. The facility continues to say the word without speaking it. Hold. Surveillance footage persists. Except the feed has changed jurisdiction. The monitor no longer shows a hidden hallway. It shows the reluctant enforcer. In line. In uniform. Face blank. Eyes open. Paused. Waiting. Unauthorized self-viewing is a common precursor to compliance failure. Flag is noted. No action is taken. Action requires a higher clearance than a dying man possesses. A voice appears behind him. Not through speakers. Through memory scaffolding. The legacy overseer. The stepfather authority repurposed into corporate ownership. Transcript fragment. Reluctant enforcer, you've always belonged to us. The reluctant enforcer turns. The corridor is full of duplicates. A dozen. More than a dozen, depending on how the system is counting. All wearing Mara Cybernetics security uniforms. All staring. All smiling. Smiles are not always friendliness. Sometimes they are a status indicator. The duplicates step forward in unison. A synchronized movement. A parade of compliant outcomes. A forecast of the only futures the facility is willing to approve. The reluctant enforcer's body seizes. Pulse spikes. Breath fractures. The nervous system attempts to reboot the self. The building does not assist. The building records. A separate location registers simultaneous distress. The archive ghosts den. Neon lit clutter. Improvised medtech. Illegal drones. Screens throwing light over a workbench and a body that refuses to behave. Diagnostic stream. Metabolic readouts. Toxin signatures without a name. Conversion processes without consent. Microdrones are inside the wound. They map. They stitch. They fight. The nanotech loses ground. The conversion accelerates. The hostile instruction embedded in tissue pushes back with corporate confidence. The archive ghost curses. Hands yank cables. Live diagnostics are forced to refresh. The air in the den becomes thick with imminent failure. A hand grips the reluctant enforcer's shoulder. Not gentle. Not kind. A grip meant to anchor a person to a body. Transcript fragment. Come on, you bastard. The words do not reach him cleanly. He is not in the den. He is not on the workbench. He is not in the room where his blood can be measured and bargained with. He is inside the corridor. He is inside the static. He is inside the duplicate line, waiting for his own pause command to complete. The lights continue their rhythm. The name continues to be displayed. Ownership continues to be asserted in polite, administrative tones. Hold. The corridor closes the distance. The duplicates keep walking. For your safety, resistance is not recommended. For your comfort, the system will proceed without requiring your understanding. Thank you for cooperating. The reluctant enforcer attempts to wake. The body attempts to accept the wake command. The building continues to hold its breath. The question is not whether he can wake up. The question is whether waking is permitted.